Most economists will tell you the key to a successful economic future for our province, avoiding the boom and bust cycles of a resource-based economy, is to tap into the largest economy in the world, China. Just how big is it? Consider that the number of people in China who have cell phones is 13 times the entire population of Canada. Tonight we begin a week-long series on the pie everyone seems to want a piece of, the rising dragon and its booming market. Brian Coxford reports from Beijing.
Beijing, China's busy and growing capital. We've all seen the images of the infamous plaza, Tiananmen Square, and the historic Forbidden City. But this is a city that has gone from old to new very fast, undergoing more change in the last 10 years than during the 1,000 years Beijing has been the political and cultural capital.
Incomes have grown substantially. Just looking at disposable income, they've nearly doubled since 2000.
We're having a very strong Eastern heritage culture passed on from parents' generation, and we have Western influence as well.
You know, people living in the Western, how their life it is. So people learn very fast.
Turning the clock back to when these pictures were taken in 1983, 25 years ago in Beijing, the bicycle was the mode of transportation. There were hundreds of thousands of them. You had to be someone in political life, someone important to drive. The highest building then, 3 or 4 stories. And people dressed down. No Western influence in fashion or lifestyle then.
At their time, they have what they are thinking is how to get enough food for my children, for my kids. But now it's changed. It's better.
Firstly, I didn't have 2 days weekend. Now I do. And I didn't have that many opportunity to explore the Western world and international world. But now I have enough resources and media and people from the outside, from overseas, come to China, bring into lots of technology which was not available before.
There has been an information explosion here, especially with the young. Cell phones in China have gone from 87 million in the year 2000 to an estimated 440 million today. And the internet in China now has the world's largest number of users, surpassing the U.S., with 220 million users.
It's changed in the last 20 years. It's gone from being a relatively closed, very socialist country to one of the most important economies in the world.
In 4 years, the government has spent a reported $38.4 billion on new infrastructure in Beijing. But those in the know say the People's Republic usually underreports spending, and that number could be 2 or 3 times higher. The car has largely replaced the bicycle. There are some 60 new highways and expressways, 5 new major bridges. And a new open-concept air terminal is ready to greet international visitors. They say it costs close to $4 billion. It's larger than London's Heathrow. There's an ultra-modern subway system, 3 new lines added to the 4 lines already here. All of it to get ready for this, the Summer Olympics. The key piece in the venue parade, the stadium. At a reported $500 million, the Bird's Nest is a Swiss-German design that is an architectural wonder. 36 kilometers of twisted steel. All of it giving the Chinese huge bragging rights heading into the games.
It's the coming out party. It is, yeah. It's, a lot of people have heard of China. They know what's going on here, but very few people have seen it. It's definitely going to be an opportunity for them to introduce the world to the version of China that they think is sort of their best face.
The Olympic venues are magnificent, and they've been ready for months. There are 31, including the water cube for swimming and diving. They will impress the world, those who come and the billions who watch on television. But despite the openness of this new China, there are still strict rules and laws, particularly for visiting journalists. Here in Tiananmen Square, the scene of good and bad memories in Chinese history, cameras are allowed to roam freely here as we head up to the games. This will be a square where there will be ceremony and celebration during the Olympic Games, but there'll be no live broadcasts here to avoid the opportunity of protest. With all the development and progress, there is a downside. The 1 baby per family law favors boys. There will be 30 million unmarried men in China by 2020. Workers migrate to cities like Beijing from the rural areas if they're allowed to, because wages are 3 times higher. 1 in 4 in Beijing are migrants. This new modern China with its factories and automobiles brings pollution. Tomorrow, how the government plans to make the smog disappear in time for the Summer Olympics.